All right, so for this week's live, I am going to keep it short and we are going to be straight to the point with this week's live because something that I've been seeing as I've been working with more law firms is one of the questions that comes up is, how do we increase profitability? And there's been a common trend that I have seen, especially with a lot of law firms who are charging hourly or they're doing hourly billing or they charge a billable rate. So if you are a law firm and you charge a billable rate and you've had the question about profitability, what we're going to walk through today is going to be very, very helpful for you. It is a very quick exercise that I've been working with a lot of law firms that I realize, as many of the law firms that I've been working with have told me, is that, hey, you know what, this is simple. I understand it. It makes sense. I wish someone would explain this because, we just weren't trained to think like this. So we're going to walk through it. And as I said, it's going to be very quick. So, one of the things that I tend to do with a lot of law firms is we'll take a look at, okay, let's look at your current staff and let's see how your current staff is performing. And one of the things we start to look at is let's look at, what's the billable rate? And I put some examples in this file just to kind of help us kind of navigate and walk through this a little faster. One of the first things that I do is figure out, okay, all right, on an average weekly basis, how many billable hours are the people on your team actually, logging or recording? And in this example, let's say the associate is doing 26 hours a week, paralegal's doing 15, or paralegal number 2 is doing 12. So one of the first things that I do is I say to give us a good basis. So let's say if you work, for your firm, you guys work 4 days a week and then a half day on Friday. So what I would simply do is take that divided by 4.5 to give me an idea of, hey, how many billable hours are they doing a day on average? And then the next thing I want to see is, well, if there is, let's say, 8 hours in a work day, and so I'll take that divided by 8, get an idea on. So what that starts to tell me is this first person has a utilization rate of about 72%. Next person has 42%. And then the next person has 33%. Now, immediately I'm focusing in on the people that are below 50% and asking questions like, okay, all right, what's stopping them from being more utilized for billable work? And inevitably, one of the things that we see a lot is that what they're saying is, well, they're spending a lot of time on work that we can't bill for, or they're doing administrative work. And so the thing that I ask is, it's like, okay, all right, how much would it cost us to hire a intern or to hire an extra admin that can take this work off of their plate? And a lot of times law firm owners will say, well, I just don't know if we can afford that. And I'm like, well, I thought you would say that. And one of the things that we want to get to is let's just let the numbers tell us whether you can or you can't afford it. So, next part of the exercise is, let's say if this person stayed exactly the same, they were still doing about, 5.78 hours a day on average. So, that person stayed the same. Let's say if this person went to billing, let's say if they just started billing, 4.5 hours a day. And let's say we got this person to 4. So, in an 8-hour day, this person's utilization gets up to, oh, on my formula, this person's utilization gets just above 50%. Now, the question we were asking is, could you afford to hire an administrative assistant that could take away some of the non-billable work off their desk or hire some type of intern? Well, when we compare those numbers and we look at the variance, what this tells me is by making this slight tweak of this change, meaning if this person just does 1 extra hour, if that administrative assistant can free up 1 extra hour a day, and this administrative assistant can free up a little bit more than, a little bit more than 1 extra hour that, so this administrative assistant is probably going to, do like 3 hours worth of work that this person is going to take off of the paralegals so the paralegals can focus on the actual billable work. What that's going to do is it's going to generate about an extra $5,600 a month in revenue. So then the question becomes is, can you find an administrative assistant that costs less than $5,600 a month? And by doing this simple exercise, what a lot of law firms start realizing is, you know what? Maybe I can afford to hire that person to shift things around so that we can allow the people that are on the legal team to be more productive by providing the right resources. Because when it comes down to making, financial decisions and increasing profitability, it doesn't have to be something very complicated. It could be a very simple solution that will help you navigate it. So, as I said, this week, the live was going to be very short because we can get to the point about that, because that is something that I've definitely seen a lot of law firms that do hourly billing kind of struggle on asking questions on how do we grow profitability. Well, that is a very simple idea that you can use to grow profitability. Now, if you're looking at that and you're saying like, that was great, like, hey, I need some help doing that for my business. Like, how do we expand this to the whole team? Or let's say you're doing flat fee pricing, and there is a way to do a similar thing with flat fee pricing. Now, it is a little bit more complex, and we work with a lot of businesses in doing it. So there is a way to look at it that way. So I would say is try to do the exercise on your own. If you feel like, hey, I need an exercise like this done on my firm, but I don't have the time to do it. Our firm, we often do a lot of project work and consulting with different law firms. So feel free to reach out to the TL Turner Group. You can reach out to us on Facebook, or you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, or you can email us at contact@tlturnergroup.com. So thanks for tuning in. If you're looking for ideas on how to manage and grow a profitable law firm, this Facebook group is perfect for you, because every week we are featuring conversations with successful lawyers and businesses related to law firms on tips, ideas, and technology that are helping many people grow and manage a profitable law firm. So if you're looking for great tips and ideas, you definitely want to click the link below so you can join the conversation and be part of the Law Firms and Finance Facebook group.